Hey everybody, welcome back. I just did my I did that giveaway just the other day, and my favorite car that I mentioned was the Ford Model A, and I've had this one on the shelf for a while, and I've not even really looked at it. And it's been produced, it's been out for a long time, and I think it started life as a Bandai. I think it's been an Intex, but this is a MiniCraft right there, MiniCraft. But I mean, it's the same kit, been around forever. And just by looking at the box, if you'll notice, the hood must fit just awful. But I wanted to look at this because it's a little different. This one has chroma cows, whatever that means. It says includes MiniCraft's fabulous chroma cows, bullet hole and broken glass decals. And it's got complete with 4 die-cut figures. Oh, that sounds exciting. But it's brand new. It's never been started or anything, and I've only opened the box top. I've never really looked at it, but I've heard some horror stories about these old kits, how warped up they are and things like that. So I wanted to open it up and see what it looks like. I don't think it comes with the backdrop, but that is pretty cool. I'd love to have a diorama of an old town like that. Bank and all these other things. That's really cool. Kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde thing. Although I don't think Bonnie and Clyde were in a 31. I think they were in more of a Model B or something like that. Maybe a 34. I think they had a V8 car. But anyway. I do plan on building some of these bigger ones. But I have to get a bigger model room first. Unfortunately. This is pretty cool. I just love Model A's. They're my favorite. So here are those die cut. They're just cardboard that's been, stamped out with a little. I mean, they look really cheesy. That looks like Al Capone almost right there. But they have Tommy guns, and then the women, and the same thing on the back side. I guess they're double-sided, is what it is. Double-sided. I guess these are. Oh, I see what they're saying about chroma. They're chrome. They're just like shiny chrome decals. Yeah, so they are just like chrome little decals. Nothing special, but they look like bullet holes. I guess I don't think I'd ever build it like that with the bullet holes. I mean, it's neat, but I don't think I would do that. That looks like it got shot with a cannon, not with just a regular gun. Tommy gun especially didn't make a big giant. Looks like a baseball went through the windshield or the window. Alright, it's got the couple little license plates. New York 31 and Illinois 1931. Those are nice. And this thing is relatively new. I would say probably mid 2000s. Let's see if I can find it. 2006 is what it shows on copyright date there. So it's a repop. Here's the fender, and one fender. I don't understand how this works, but one fender is off, and it's like 3 fenders, and you got one that's loose. I don't know why that is. Maybe as I get to undoing this, I'll be able to tell. But yeah, one fender is off of it. No clue why it's like that. Maybe you guys in the comments could tell me why they do that. Maybe it's the construction of when you build it, you have to have a fender off. I don't know, but you got to fit that one fender on there. These things are super thin too. I mean, it's just as thin as can be. Just as, oops, there went that. And your windows, which don't, those are, they don't have. Some of the Gangbusters kits had a windows that actually had look like bullet holes in them. These aren't that way. You have to add those decals. There's nothing like that, but they do have these decorative vent glass windows. That's kind of neat. The chrome tree here. Chrome doesn't look that great. That would have to all probably be stripped. It's kind of rough. If you'll notice, the chrome on the bumper is not very smooth. It doesn't look very good, so that would need to be re-chromed. Yeah, you can see here on the edge, chrome just doesn't look that great. Dealing with a bunch of old molds, and I don't know their method. Looks like they went with the cheapest method possible to chrome this stuff. It looks pretty bad. You can even see here on this, there's like cracks in the chrome and stuff like that. No good. I'm not going to open everything, but I just wanted to see it for myself, and I figured since I was opening it up, might as well open it up and let you guys see it. This thing, I can already tell you this would be an absolute train wreck to build, but I do plan on building. There's your frame rails right there. So I got nice detail. It's just so flimsy. This is the most flimsy plastic ever. There's your banjo rear end, half of it, the two halves of the banjo rear end. I actually have a couple of banjo rear ends. If any of you guys are interested and want to drive down to Nahunta, Georgia, I would be interested in getting rid of them because they're doing me no good. Front axle, suspension parts. I don't know how that is. They managed to get that on the same. Oh, they didn't. It's broken. Okay, so that went right over here. I bet those are all twisted out of shape. I'm looking for Intex or Bandai on the trees, but I don't see any. They probably removed it, but I do believe this started life as Bandai. I guess, and Bandai being I think a Japanese model company. There's this, what's this, running boards. Those look nice. There's your wheels. One side of them. And then there's the other side. Yeah, all that stuff looks good. Window frame. It looks like some suspension parts. There's lots of parts. Quite a few pieces. There's your oil pan for your 4-banger. I don't know what this is right off the bat, but no clue. Got good detail. Just cheap. Feels cheap. And I said I wasn't going to open everything up, but might as well. There's the radiator. So it's got really fine detail, so that's nice. That'll make up for some of the ill-fitting parts probably. And not tons of flash, but does have some. If you can notice, they're on the steering wheel. But that's just part of it. There's the battery, top of the 6-volt battery there. Have you ever heard of Model A crank up? They don't have the greatest of starting. The starters they sound kind of they sound kind of slow and old, which they are. They're both. They're slow and old. These cars only ran like, you know, I guess a Model A probably 55, 60 possibly, I guess. Oh, check this out. So this is stuff that interests me. If you'll notice right here, you see where they took and welded on the mold. That's actually a weld bead to cover up something that was below that, so that someone took a welder and it made a positive impression. Well, no, I take that back. Why would, just like it would make a negative impression? I don't know, but it looks like a weld bead to me to cover up something. Then maybe they just hogged it out with something. They ground it. Maybe that's what that is. Because they would make a negative impression, it would make a positive on here. There's the sides for the hood. Those all look really nice. Louvers. There's your dashboard. And your doors, which open. And I've seen some videos on these. The hinges and all don't do so well, so that would probably take quite a bit of work to get the doors to open properly. And there's your firewall, front part of the cab piece there, and there's your hood tops right there, molded in green. Here's the engine, and this is 1/16 scale. I don't even know if I mentioned that to begin with. 1/16 scale, so it's quite big. Charlie Mack over at Charlie Mack's channel, he's building a 1/16 scale Lincoln, and you can tell the size of that thing, that, you know, by looking at his build. And he's talked about it's pretty difficult, some of the ways you have to build it. There's your head, looks nice, flat head, 4-cylinder. There's half of the block there with the cylinders, and the other half of the block there with your valve. You would call that, I guess, your valve cover, because being it's a flat head, your valves are in the block, not in the head. They're not overhead valves. So this is where you would take that cover off and you could adjust your valves there. Your valve springs and lifters and all that would be right there. There's your manual transmission. This stuff all looks nice. A little bit of cleanup, but it looks really good. Kind of look forward to building it. Well, actually, I look really forward to building it. It's just I don't look forward to some of the troubles that people have mentioned that they have with these. But you know what? Sometimes you can get a nice kit, and some people get a lemon. So maybe this isn't a lemon. Maybe this is a lime rather than a lemon. I don't want to have troubles, but a lot of times you do. There's some oil from the mold release, I guess, right there. Boy, this thing would really have to be washed. Nice looking seat. Hold on, it goes. Let's see, where's the top? Okay, yeah, that looks really nice. I would love to sit in a Model A and go down the road. Never ridden in one. I have my wife's great uncle has a Model A pickup truck, and I asked him just the other day. I saw him. I said, "Is there any way that maybe one day we could take it down the road?" He said he needs to re-ring it right now. It's passing a lot of oil. But he said when he gets that done, we'll go for a ride. It's a little Model A pickup, and I've seen him drive by several times. It's her great uncle. I don't know if I said great uncle or uncle. There are your front seats. This would be your back seat, by the way, and your front seats are single seats. So there's the bottoms, I think, and it looks like to me that they flip up. That looks like a little hinge right here, and you put the seat bottoms and everything, and I think the seats will flip up for the person to be able to get in the back. There's another one of those. Oh, you know what? I can almost make out what it said where they ground it. It says like made by or made in. I can't tell what that says because they scratched it off. M-A-D-E-I-N. Oh, I think it says Japan. It looks like a P, an A, and an... I don't think you guys can see that as good as I can since you're looking at it through your television screen. But anyway, I think it says made in Japan, which is fine. But this kit's actually made in China, so I guess they felt it was needful to remove that so it wouldn't be like false advertisement. So these were originally Japanese kits, but MiniCraft had them produced. Yep, it does. It definitely says made in Japan. I can make it out. So that's what they were covering up. And I think right here was the not that I can tell anything about it besides it's just a scribble, but that would have been where the Bandai logo would have been. And I can't make anything out about that except one little arch at the top. And I think, doesn't the Bandai, is there an arch up there possibly? I don't know. And here's the body, which they always talk about how warped they are. And I think this one probably, I don't know, it looks fairly evenly warped if it is. But I love the size of these things. They're cool. Big enough that you can do some easier detailing. Looking for any signs of, I see some marks in there, and I just, like I say, I love seeing old marks because who knows how old those marks were made into that mold years and years and years ago, and they just keep producing, they kept producing them rather, and those marks just stood the test of time. I don't know what the marks were. Somebody got in there and had to beat something loose, looks like hammer marks almost, but I don't know. I just think that stuff's neat, just to know how many hands have been on the molds that created these. And then here are the tires. And there are 5 tires, got a spare. And they would need some cleanup. Ooh, that one's got a big, this one's got a big old flat spot on it. But that's okay, that could be the spare. This one is a, look at that. They'd have to be soaked in some hot water for sure. Oh, they're hard as a brick too. Not very round. Not very round. Wow, those have really been out of shape. Oh, wow, look at this one. I don't know if that's the same one I just showed you or not. But yeah, the tires are pretty. I might have to talk to my friend Miguel over at Hobbyworks and see, send him a tire and see if he can't design me a 3D printed tire possibly. That is a possibility that he could design a tire for this. I'll have to, Miguel, if you're watching, I don't need them right now, but these things are hard as a brick bat. Now that one's not. That one's awful soft. That one's soft. This one, you can't hardly squeeze that thing. It's so hard. That's weird. Anyway, that's it. Hope it didn't bore you. I just wanted to look at this Model A. There's a different scheme, paint scheme. Look at the hoods, are just the most ill-fitting hoods. But these people are probably kind of rushed to build these, and didn't take a lot of time. I mean, this one looks pretty decent, but still the hood just, that's terrible. But I guess if you're looking at the pretty ladies instead of the hood, then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, anyway, MiniCraft 16th scale Hard Times Highways edition of the 31 Gangster Getaway Sedan. Alright, well that's it. I'll put all these parts back in the box when I get done with the video here. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate you. Thanks for your support. Also want to thank all of you that are on the Facebook group, and you contribute into the Facebook group. Thank you so much. If you guys are ever interested in becoming a member of the Model Car Videos Facebook group, go to the link in the description of the video, or just search on Facebook Model Car Videos Facebook group, and it should come up. There's a couple of questions, I think 3, that you have to answer. Maybe there was 2, but you have to answer them. One of the admins was mentioning to me the other day when I make an announcement about so many people go over and attempt to join, but yet you fail to answer the questions on the Facebook group questions. They're simple questions. Even if you get them wrong, we can still consider, but a lot of people just fail to even answer any of them. And I'm like, it's simple. Just answer a few questions, agree to be nice, and you can become a member. But a lot of people don't do that. So we have to sometimes turn people away because it's like, it's just really, it's 2 or 3 questions and you can become a member. But anyway, regardless of the fact, if you are on there, thank you so much for your the time that you take to post your builds and to share info. And when people have questions, you guys are always there to answer those questions. Also, thank you to hobbynutmodels.com. Go over there, check out Hobby Nut Models. Always linked in the description of the videos. Grab yourself some great paint, model kit, anything that goes along with this great hobby. Mark carries it over there, so go check that out. And thank you to my Patreon members. And yeah, hey, what's my favorite car? The Model A Ford. And I'd rather have a 4-door. I don't think they make a model of it. But I just think it's not a sports car anyway. And I just think the 4-door's cool. I think the 4-door's a little bit longer possibly because you do have a reverse swinging rear door. And I would prefer the 4-door. That's crazy. But yeah, and you get these cars fairly inexpensive. When I say inexpensive, one that's been restored for 25 or 30 years, you could probably pick it up for, I don't know, $20,000, $15,000 to $20,000. You could probably find better deals. Some are more expensive, but I've noticed that they are somewhere around there. There were a lot of them built, a ton of them built, but unfortunately they don't build them anymore. And I'd love to have one day. Like I said, I would trade all my VW stuff for a Model A Ford, but nobody's approached me yet wanting to trade, so ain't happened yet. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I got another MiniCraft kit that I want to open up and compare some of these parts. It's the 31 Roadster. It's the one with the V8 under the hood, and it's a convertible, but I think it shares probably a lot of these parts. So maybe I'll do an unboxing on that and then compare some of these parts. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.